Yeah, definitely a trigger warning. There's some gun violence. Going to be some graphic material and some gun violence. You're going to hear some gunshots in this, and so just please, be aware. So a Black Lives Matter protester, Garrett Foster, was shot and killed at protests in Austin. And I will, this happened on Saturday night. This article is from Dallas News, and it was written on July 26th. And so this protester, Garrett Foster, was with his fiancee, Whitney Mitchell. She's a quadruple amputee who uses a wheelchair. And they were at a protest in Austin on Saturday night when Foster was shot and killed. Police have released the driver. So police have released the driver who allegedly killed an armed protester Saturday night in downtown Austin while they investigate what led to the fatal shooting. Austin Police Chief Brian Manley identified the man who was shot as Garrett Foster. Foster was attending the protest against police violence and had been pushing the wheelchair of his fiancee, Whitney Mitchell, 28, who is a quadruple amputee. Their mothers told the Dallas Morning News. The couple, who met in North Texas as teenagers, moved to Austin a couple of years ago and had attended protests in recent weeks. As you'll hear in one of the videos, I believe someone says that they were there at the protests like for 50 days straight, apparently, in Austin. So they've been out there protesting. So Austin police are investigating what occurred between Foster, who they said was carrying an AK-47 style rifle during the protest, and the driver, who called police to report that he'd shot someone. Accounts of what happened that night vary, police say. So yes, they say that Foster was carrying an AK-47 style rifle. This is Austin, Texas. In Texas, they do have open carry laws, and so what he was doing was totally legal as far as we know. It's completely legal to carry that kind of weapon. It is my understanding that you also don't even need a special permit to own an AK-47 style weapon in Texas. So these are the gun laws there. And so what he was doing was within his rights. So witnesses reported that just before 10 p.m. Saturday, a car turned down the street toward the protesters. So that's what witnesses are reporting. A car turned down the street toward the protesters, and the driver started honking its horn. The vehicle stopped in the roadway, police said, and Foster approached the driver's side window as others began striking the car. The driver then opened fire, striking Foster. Manley said at a news conference Sunday that the driver reported Foster pointed his weapon at them before the shooting. KVUE TV reported that police have said Foster did not discharge his weapon, but the chief did say someone else in the crowd did return fire as the car left the scene. The driver and the other person who fired a weapon were released after they gave police their accounts of what happened. Both of them had a license to carry a handgun, Manley said. Police did not say whether Foster had such a license, but it is legal in Texas to openly carry a rifle like an AK-47 without a license. To carry a handgun openly or concealed, one must have a license unless a person is transporting their own handgun while driving their vehicle. It's illegal to brandish any deadly weapon, including a gun. It's illegal to brandish any deadly weapon, including a gun, in a manner calculated to alarm. Austin police are reviewing witness videos and statements to determine the precise actions of those involved. They are asking for help from other people. Okay, so leave this picture of these two. This is the couple here, Whitney Mitchell, 28, and her fiance, Garrett Foster, who was killed. And I'd just like to show a couple of clips here these were from TYT. And sorry, folks, I'm just watching a version of this stream and just noticing some darkness on the right side of the screen there. I hope isn't showing up. Weird. Okay. All right. So sorry about that. I'll edit that out, hopefully. And not from the live stream. So what I want to do is show a video here this was posted by the Young Turks. And this is just a clip of the events that somebody is recording live as this shooting takes place. So please, again, trigger warning here, content warning here, gun violence, and you're not going to see a person being killed, but I'm going to show some of the aftermath of that as well, and you're going to hear the gunshots as they happen. So here goes. Again, bear with me. Okay, here we go.
No one is more hated.
Sorry, y'all. Gonna have to play this ad. I apologize.
Plato said that. Have you ever noticed that when information
someone get shot?
Someone got shot, guys. Someone got shot.
So I want to remind.
All right, so that's the first clip. I'm sorry that clip didn't appear exactly as I intended it. Let me just play the clip one more time, just to so that I play it with the full clip in view here.
Someone get shot?
Someone got shot, guys. Someone got shot.
So I want to remind you all that this took place in Austin, Texas, where.
Okay, so that was just a clip of the actual, shooting as it was taking place, just recorded by somebody that just happened to be in the crowd there, one of the protesters that was there in the crowd, I believe. And I'm going to show one more clip quickly. This one I think is a slightly shorter clip, and this one is just a short interview that they do with someone that appears to know the Garrett Foster and Whitney Mitchell, who, the Garrett Foster being the protester that was shot and killed, and it appears witnessed the events happening, and so they're interviewing her shortly after this happened. She's clearly still processing and in a state of shock, and so again, just content warning here. Let's check it out and come back and discuss.
A car drove up. We were.
I'm so sorry, folks.
No one is more hated than he who speaks the truth. Plato said that.
Ads
Have you ever
here.
noticed
Once
that when
you pause the videos
information
for
comes
too
out,
long, they
someone
force you to
speaks
watch
the
an ad
truth
again.
about
I
what's going on
apologize.
around us,
We were were taking the streets. A car drove up. We were taking the streets, and he shot.
They're gonna make me watch the ad again. I'm sorry, folks. I apologize. I can't watch this without watching these. We're gonna have to get the ads cut in.
Garrett is the husband of Whitney, a quadriplegic in a wheelchair, and he is her caretaker and has been for like 10 years. I think he pointed the gun at her. Sorry, they've been out here for like all 50 days so far.
Holy yeah, I know who they are. Someone got shot, guys.
So on the day that he
I'm going to try to play it once more, but I think we're going to have to watch the ad again. I apologize. I'm just going to play it one more time just so that you can hear what she says. I'll just point out some of the things that struck me and stood out to me was that she says that, one, that Garrett and his fiance Whitney were there. They've been out there for like all 50 days, like for 50 days straight on these protests. And the person that's talking and holding the camera sounds like they say, oh, I know them. So they're clearly like people that would be recognized. They've been there out there protesting. And also just, she says in there, it sounds like that, no, she pretty clearly says that she believes that the driver might have been pointing their gun at Whitney, the Garrett Foster's fiance, and then she sort of trails off. But it sounds like she's a witness in the moment saying it appears like she saw the driver potentially point his weapon, his gun, at Garrett's fiance in her wheelchair, Whitney Mitchell. So I'll just play this clip one more time for us here. Sorry about the ad.
A car drove up. We were taking the streets, and he shot.
Hey, are you awake? I know how hard it can be. Sometimes just getting out of bed is a hassle.
Garrett is the husband of Whitney, a quadriplegic in a wheelchair, and he is her caretaker and has been for like 10 years. I think he pointed the gun at her. Sorry, they've been out here for like all 50 days so far.
Holy yeah, I know who they are. Someone got shot, guys.
So yeah, he says, I think he must have pointed the gun at her. So her referring to Whitney Mitchell there, I believe. And so, yeah, I just wanted to, highlight this story because, I mean, it's a tough one to talk about. And especially, there's so many great uplifting things that happen through these protests, and there are some great sacrifices that are made along the way, and this is definitely one based on what it appears to be. I mean, I know without a doubt there's no question about these people, this guy deserved better. He was clearly out there fighting on the right side of history, fighting for a good cause, and seemed like he may have just been trying to protect someone he loved in the way that he knew how, that he was totally justified in doing. And I get this feeling that, there's going to be those just the hypocritical, you'll see the NRA won't come in here and say anything about how this gun, legal gun owner deserved to live because he was protesting, in favor of Black Lives Matter. And so they won't come out and say anything in favor because they're not about what they claim to be about, which is like gun rights advocacy. It's really about right-wing advocacy, just extreme right-wing extremism and advocating for, just far-right politics from the NRA. And so I don't expect anything from them on this. I don't expect them to come to his defense in any way. the cops have already let the driver go, the dude who murdered this dude, because I'm just this is just conjecture. I don't know this, but it just feels like they when it's in favor of something like Black Lives Matter or something like that, they're just gonna always lean in favor of the sorry, but I don't know any other words besides fascist in the situation, whatever. I don't, get on me about that, but whatever. I mean, they're always going to lean towards fascism and protect the fascist. And that's what they're doing here. And the dude murdered somebody who was out there protesting, doing everything legally. It sounds like this driver may have approached the protesters threateningly, driven at them. I've seen another video. I wish I pulled that up, of someone speeding a car towards a bunch of protesters, like on a highway. That was frightening. I don't think anyone was severely injured in that, but we all know about Heather. I'm spacing on her last name right now. I apologize, but she was the protester that was killed in Charlottesville. She was murdered, run over by a dude, psychopath that just killed her in cold blood. Drove his car into a crowd of protesters and killed this woman, Heather. So we know the dangers. It's reasonable for a protester to be afraid. I remember during DAPL, right, shortly after DAPL, North Dakota passed legislation that said that it was legal for a person to drive over protesters, essentially, if they feel fear in any way, which is absurd. So yeah, that was tough. This is just something where I just wanted to, I don't really have a ton to say on it other than to just try to, highlight this brother who deserves to have his name remembered. And he was fighting for a cause that is near and dear to me, of course. And I'm glad that we got fighters like him on our side. And I feel really sorry for this woman who was his fiance, and sounds like he really helped to take care of her. They were dating for about a month, I think, when they got together when they were around 18 years old, like 10 years ago. And about a month after they were together, I think she fell sick. She got really sick, ended up having to have her arms and legs amputated, and he stuck by her side, and he loved her unconditionally from all descriptions. And they were out there. She said stuff like that she felt like she wasn't doing enough, which is just wild to have to feel that way. And so she wanted to be out there protesting, and he was there supporting her like he did and everything else. And so just shout out to this brother who deserved better and deserved to live. And I know that, yeah, this dude that murdered them deserves to be, punished for what he did. And so I hope that he doesn't get away with it. And we all know how this would go. Typically, I think that, the fact that he's white, I think, helps his situation a bit, at least, because at least, there's at least his life does matter. It's just, unfortunately, it matters less because what he supported, and who he supported. And so, it mattered less to these people, obviously not to me, of course, but to the people that are going to be investigating and prosecuting this. So, it is what it is. But Garrett Foster, we should remember the name. Good brother. It sounds like that's gone from us too early. So shout out. And hope that he gets some justice, especially for his fiance. Thanks for watching Radical Democracy Podcast. I'm your host, Kamali Rose. Please like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, and if it doesn't bother you, hit that bell below to receive notifications whenever we go live or launch a new video. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below, and if you can afford it, do me a huge favor and head over to my Patreon at patreon.com/radicaldemocracy and throw me a few bucks. Whatever you can afford, it goes a long way, and I will greatly appreciate it. It helps the channel to continue to exist and to grow, and I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon. All right, peace. All right, that was a good one. That one's it. Thanks for watching Radical Democracy Podcast. I'm your host, Kamali Rose. Please like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, and if it doesn't bother you, hit that bell below to receive notifications whenever we go live or launch a new video. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below, and if you can afford it, do me a huge favor and head over to my Patreon at patreon.com/radicaldemocracy and throw me a few bucks. Whatever you can afford, it goes a long way, and I will greatly appreciate it. It helps the channel to continue to exist and to grow, and I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon. All right, peace. All right, that was a good one. That one's it.